You're over it by like 2 feet. I didn't know you were gonna make us work for it tonight. Thought this was gonna be an easy one. You're like, yeah, I got an excavator there. Shh, dude. Oh! Oh my. Don't move nothing for like a minute.
Yeah, like that.
All right, that makes me feel a little bit better. All right, lower it down about 40 feet. Oh! We're in a home stretch, I hope. Go down about a mile. I had to stop and get myself some nachos and some tacos. Mandatory kind of a deal. That was extremely sketchy. Look who's in here though. Boom! Ever since I bought the shop, 2 requests have topped all others. First one is, when are you gonna get a Ford? Get a 7.3. They'll pull anything. Because that's what they're rated at, pull anything. Doubt it. But the second is, you got a shop now, why don't you have a lift? Well, the shop's 1,600 square feet, and coincidentally, that's about 1,600 square feet bigger than my last shop. I've never had one of these. So plain and simple, just having a nice slab with a roof and 4 walls has been awesome enough. Beats gravel driveways and slabs that weren't poured correctly and stuff like that. So this thing has just been great. But with the muscle cars and stuff on the other channel, picked up a 4-post lift, and that thing is big, inconvenient, and honestly just feels like a storage rack that I can't really utilize on a daily basis. I'd rather have a 2-post. Do have this big office / storage unit. Eats up about 20% of the shop. Yeah, I could remove that and have a little bit more space to work with, but I actually use it for storage. So I have a lot of good used parts up there, oil filters, belts, you name it, everything's up there. So what we're going to do today, one of my buddies hit me up. He's got a 2-post lift, brand new, bought at auction, just sitting around. Now until we get the other 60 feet added to this shop, we're very limited on space. So this 4-post, we got to find a new home for it. Very simple 4-post lift. Can't really tell you too much more about it other than for vertical mounting only. That's the instructions it came with. It's got a button and a lever, raises and lowers it. Like I said, that thing's very good for a storage rack, but trying to get down vehicles and stuff on it in the corner. I built a winch system. At the end of the day, it would be really nice to have a 4-post lift moved right to where you guys are sitting. So we're going to work on that today. This shop was already somewhat occupied when I bought it. Had workbenches going all the way down here. I cut it in half, put that half in the Connex for literally storage shelves, because that's all a workbench really turns into. I got mobile benches and stuff around here that I use for actually working on. But I got my old toolbox converted to electrical down there. I got my metal working kind of station, drill press, saw with belt, band, whatever. Gonna have to move all this stuff over there. Which means we gotta delete this whole shelf. Maybe the pegboard could stay, but I kind of doubt it because we won't be able to get to it anyway. So welcome to V-Belt & Son. We're installing a 2-post lift today. I've never been underneath that bench since I bought the place. That was somebody else's mess, and I look like I've been in the coal mine here. But I decided we're just gonna take the whole bench out because I only use it for the bench grinder and the vise and this little portable table right here and that piece of scrap steel that I got from somebody. You'll see at the end. Just wait. You already know what I'm thinking. But this was just a big bench right here that turned into a shelf. And it's just been collecting junk for years. And now, if I got the 4-post right there, where's it gonna end up? Right here. It's gonna be a nice straight shot with a vehicle to come in here, park up, and went ahead and moved the chimney over, and the dang old thing is leaking because it's back feeding from the outside. It's starting to rain, making the wall look like heat. But I gotta go grab something to eat. I'll be back. Well, here we go. Time to see how well it fits. I plan on deleting that flappy part of the pegboard and just relocating everything that way. Probably same thing on that end. But for the most part, my storage shelves over there, cabinets, I hoping they can stay. We got extra electrical and stuff. That's moved over. Fixed the leak, I think. It just downpoured really bad. But like I said, she's in lift kit, stow and go mode. Wait, no, not stow and go, just go mode. So we're gonna move that right now, and hopefully we're okay.
Soul. I ain't someone you bring to mama's house. Do you believe? Do you believe when I say time is so thief and love is so grief and all you will ever see me do is acting like the man you'll never understand. But baby, don't leave.
You guys get an update on this truck? I don't know. It's coming together. Look at all these pinholes everywhere. They put screws in this poor truck. I think I did the math. 30 holes on that side over there. 30 around that, 30 here, and then 20 up on the top. Because they drilled through for a, I don't know, cargo rack, which you got a cargo bed. I don't know. Anyway. How are we doing in here? This doesn't feel like the space I've had for the last couple years. It feels really weird. Not up to scale. 15/16 scale of a truck is a tractor. But I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple pieces of tape down. I think it's like 10 feet across or something like that. I have to Google it. Google. Nope. Get some tape. That way we got a rough coordinate where we want to put the lift. I think I'm gonna put it. Ooh. Probably right here. See the dot? Same for that dot. Great. Funny story. I wasn't recording, but it just turned on. So, hi. I'll be damned. I was just gonna use one strap, but I was like, there's no way I'll get it to balance. Look at the other one. It's barely tight, so we could have got it. Second one going in. That's cool. You guys been following the channel for a while. I have pretty much actively avoided getting a 2-post lift, and well, or any lift at that matter, because I always planned on having a semi coming in here. But I don't own a semi personally. It was for someone who used to work with a lot more often, so I figured gotta leave it open. And I like having the doors shut when you're working on the semi, so it had a dog in all the way over here at an angle because it's self-load logging truck and it still barely fit. So I never wanted to get a lift, and that was the sole reason, because the shop just was not big enough. But the way things been going since we're not working with the semi guy anymore and I'm not working on his stuff anymore, it just sacrificed so much luxury to try working on a semi that wasn't even mine. And it didn't pay good. It was just trying to help somebody out. So I didn't know if I was going to get a semi or what have you. But as it sits, we need some lifts. Needed this one because it was cheap, and I wanted to get one of those because I was hung up on that vice grip crap, where it'd be nice to have one of those. But those are very difficult to put down rigs on because I had to build a winch kit and everything. Just a struggle bus. But now you just roll a down rig right over there, and you don't have to get a winch or nothing to climb up on there.
1, 2,
3.
4.
Yep, 4. Here's 5. What you got there? You can't put it in your pocket. Check out this sweet mini fridge shelf that Callahan and I, and maybe Taylor helped with. Gotta slide the mini fridge up off the ground, you know. Help my back. Check that out. I could move the truck over a little bit more to square up the lift, but she barely misses the steps. Well, put the 04 in here. That thing's been more problems if I haven't showed the video on it. Fix, I think, the issue. Now we got a ABS light and batteries are dead. But that's probably the biggest truck really that would fit in there, because I only got 10,000 pound lift capacity on the lift. So that's where we stand. The truck probably weighs 8,500, 9,000 pounds. And then the rest of my trucks that are heavier than that weigh over 10. So, sweet. I think I actually got a little bit far forward, but I wanted to see how much real estate I had an option to use. But I think, because obviously the engine's heavier than a lot of this chunk back here, but realistically speaking, we are probably a foot or so forward, maybe more, and we still got room to come up here and dance. Look at that. This is the line that I originally put to see if I like that position. I just had to clock that one over there about an inch to square it up. I'm happy. We're gonna need you over here. Got this old Milwaukee Hawk. Turns out it's a 220 unit. She ain't got much sauce on 110. I was kind of hating life. Might have already put the first one in so I could film the second part and look like I halfway knew what I was doing, because, well, never done this before. First 5 concrete anchor bolts I've ever installed. You gotta be careful. Only supposed to go in 4 inches. Slab's not all the way to China, so go easy on it. That one and that one. So I've been putting a little bit of this in there. I don't know if water is going to penetrate up through the floor, but I ain't going to risk it. So this is what I've been doing. Get all my stuff lined out, especially if I'm running close to the bottom. If I've been at all close to the bottom, I don't want to bust through it by pounding this nail into it and pushing out the bottom anyway. So been putting the nut on here. I got to go back through and put 2 washers on it anyway, so it'll shim it up. Put a little of this on the bottom for sealing purposes, just in case. No idea. No idea. Just doing it though. Beat it to the moon. Just gonna just tighten them up, not snug. Oddly enough, they only call for 75 foot-pounds, or 70 maybe. No, 75. I don't know what that noise is. Oh, it's flexing the whole bottom. She got a little warped with all that welding. 75, that's like lift a dirt bike head if you only tighten 75. Alright, well, everything else went together relatively easy. Just threw the cables in there, which just takes a little bit of time because you got to do the threading. I still got to go back through and tighten the jams. But ran the wire up top, around, that was fun, into the building, and then down. It's just a simple plug-in. This is what my old school welder runs off of, and so I just copied the same plug. It was for this plug, that plug, and some fitting or some stuff that we needed for inside that box over there. It was cheaper than just one of these plugins to switch it over to the twist lock, which don't really need. So she's all done, except for we got one little bit of an issue. So the fitting that comes with the pump comes out straight. They came with this 90 and it's leaking because it just had an O-ring, but I can't get the washer off of it to have the caged O-ring spot right there. So if I just took that off, I would be fine. But now I need something else because, well, she's leaking right there, so I don't want to put a truck on there with something leaking. You know what I'm saying? But she's all together, so I'm going to move the crew. I kind of wanted to move it tonight and bring the charger back in, put it on the lift, so finish up this video for you guys. Because it's going to be a full packed house. Whew, man. I got to get it done either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning because we got rain coming. Man, we got stuff going on. I love the rain though because I get to come in the shop and be warm, out of the weather, just working on my projects. Here we go. Looking good. Just had to move about 9 years worth of stuff. Oh, we could straighten her out, Callahan. You stay back. Did not have GIC 6 elbow, so I had to get an adapter to an 8, down back to a 6. Get lucky I had that one here because I grabbed 2 of one and I needed 1 of each. So here we go. Well, took me over 20 hours, but we basically rearranged, renovated the whole shop, and it's so much nicer now. Like, literally, I just stepped into this place and just started putting stuff in here and started working. I probably should have just gutted it from the beginning, but I was just so stoked to have a shop and just bring a project in. Shelves and junk were all over the walls from the previous owner, and well, now I pretty much booted out every little bit except for, I guess, this office building thing. That's the only thing left, and I don't plan on taking that out, but point is, I've taken pretty much everything the previous owner left in here out of here, and we got room to work. And figured out the lift. Turns out, had my cables rearranged, tightened, tensioned. Thought one went one way, the other way went that way. No, they weren't right. So, give you guys a quick tour in this video. Whole idea behind all this was to utilize the space that I have, and maybe, just maybe, if we have another good year next year, can add on to this shop. I think that's probably what I'm going to budget towards. Another 60 feet of this, so that'll be 2.5 more of these pretty much. But over here, clearly, you got your vise workbench. That's your go-to. But I thought, why not have the drill press right next to it, rather than all the way back there in the corner like it was. Get the little bandsaw action right here. Go vertical on it, and you can use it for hand cutting items. The press, everything that I kind of use on a regular basis is all right there. Got the grinders, got a spot up on the wall. Hammers, easy to get to. Key choice for the bolts. Cut-off wheels, grinding wheels, flappy wheels, and the wire wheels, all that right there. Battery chargers. One of the bigger things besides, the lifts was moving the bolt bins. Those used to be over there underneath the window in the office. Rearranged it, just switching things from one side to the other worked out so much better because those things are not very deep, so they could go onto the footer of the building, and they can go inside the wall just a little bit. So that space I never could use before because there's like an 8-inch beam going up. Stab those back a little bit. And as for the 4-post lift, now these things are handy as hell, and I thought they'd be cool to have one of these because I could wheel it outside if I didn't need it. Basically just worried about that thing taking up a bunch of space. because over there was my go-to work spot area for long time projects. That way it still leaves this area open here. So I reached out to, man, what's that brand everybody else has got? I think they're just giving them to the big YouTube channels that realistically don't need them, but a guy that could actually use it. I reached out to them. I wanted to buy one from Wildfire. Wanted to buy one of those from them. I said, hey, I'm interested in buying one of your lifts, and here's my YouTube channel. They said, like, I quote, they said my trucks were too big for their lifts and my channel was too small. I said, dang it. Well, still wanted to buy one, but I guess they didn't want to sell me one because I wanted it for the freaking cars, and they could probably house one of these trucks as well. But anyway, found this one on Craigslist for a couple grand, which saved me some money, and it still had the option of rolling it around, except for if you roll it around with the car on it, the wheels get bent and it was just a pain. And then if you want to lower it down to get the car off, you got to take the wheels off, and it's just a big old headache. So I figure this thing's going to work great as a shelf, and I can have the charger in here where it's nice and safe, and if I run out of stuff to do on the truck, I can go over and start working on the charger. And I think I'm going to order some Holly stuff for that thing because, you know, carbureted. Rebuild car, no, you got to wait for the video. But also, having the 2-post lift, this is actually kind of intimidating for me because I've never used one of these in my life. Like, never had one of my own. This is the first time I ever hit the button on one was my own. Never had one of these before. So it was a little trial and error getting everything leveled out, but I got to do a little bit more. I dropped the socket, couldn't find it, had to lift it up, found the socket. Now we're back in action. So we can do the final adjustment. I'm about a 1/4 inch low on that side. But nevertheless, I'd say that truck is, man, between 7,000 and 8,000. I think 7,500 would be a fair number. It doesn't have anything in it as far as interior stuff, but man, that sheet metal is thick on that old girl. It is thick, so it's really nice having that 2-post lift. That thing's good for 10,000 pounds. I believe these are good for 7,500-ish. I probably could put that truck on there, but it just, there's not enough trust with that. So I need to get some of those little spinny stabilizer units to go right here, and I need to be a lot more careful about, you know, placement of the footings for this thing. But it lifts this truck up without a problem, as it should. It's rated for 10,000 pounds, so it still could probably put a little bit in there. And I don't know how I didn't hit the freaking building back there. It just barely did not touch it. Don't know how we got lucky there. But then, last but not least, tire machine tucked in over there out of the way. It was back over there in the way. So it's over there because I don't use that all the time. But then it's also going to be right there next to the lift. So you bring a truck in, pull the tires off, do the lift. And that lift will do everything except for the 5500s. If I didn't say that already, that's it. Because every one of these, like a 3500 and down truck, those things weigh less than 10,000 pounds. So pretty much I can put the dually on there, but not a 45 or maybe my dad's 45. I don't know. Anyway, we're getting off subject. Get back to subject here. Got both the toolboxes right here in that spot where the bins were. So that's actual usable space now that I can put these toolboxes in, because we got the steps going upstairs, and that was just extra room that the bins just, you always end up putting junk in front of it. Pain in the butt. Shoe buddy. Fire kicking, everything's rocking and rolling. Probably end up taking the swamp boss out of here because we ain't gonna need that. But as of right now, you guys have to check out the second channel. I'm gonna drop this bag girl down, tighten my last one tensioner up. I mean, that is freaking cool that that's up there. And check out, I'll put a link in the description, the second channel for this stuff, the old school restoration and just personal kind of business. And I'm gonna put intercooler in this thing. You can see it sitting right there right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Comment below any suggestions you saw that I should have done or didn't do, whatever I might have done. Oh, by the way, I bolted that one down. If you didn't know, she bolted down. Okay? Bolted with all the hardware the hardware store had. It could use more, as everything could. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Later. I want to say that this has taken me years to get to this point. I don't know if people don't understand that even if you make YouTube videos, I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I just make videos every once in a while. This stuff takes time, and this stuff is expensive no matter what. Even if you get deals on it, there's still tons of money to get dished out into stuff like this. These builds like this, these things are very expensive, but this is stuff I've always wanted, and it's just taken me years to get to this point where I had it. So I don't want anybody just thinking, oh, buying more crap because it's just you got too much money and whatever. No, it's just this is stuff I always wanted. I just thought it'd be fun to share with you guys.